we are going to learn some more interesting facts about the continent of Europe in general. So the next one is that Hum in Croatia is not only the smallest town in Europe but in the entire world. So interesting, right? This continent is home to the world's smallest country as well as the smallest town. See, this town has only 30 inhabitants. So something that is very much in contrast with our country, right? The whole town has just 30 inhabitants. So what is the name of that town? It is Hum in Croatia. So you do not forget that the smallest town in the world is located in Europe. And how many inhabitants are there? There are only 30 inhabitants living there. The next one, Europe is the continent with the highest population density. So you see, this is the second smallest country in the world. So you have to be careful when reading this sentence. It is not the highest population, it is the highest population density. So the number of people per unit land mass, land area is very high. That is, you must compare the number of people living per square foot or per square meter. So the population density is the highest in the European continent. Once again, it is not the highest population, it is the highest population density. So there are a lot of people living within a specified area of land. So the land area is small, the people are more. Then Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country, not only in Europe but in the whole world. Now, this statement might confuse you a bit because when you say Kazakhstan, we think about Asia, right? See, it is located here. It is not located in this land mass. However, just like Russia, the country of Kazakhstan also has its territories in Asia as well as in Europe. So, when they say Kazakhstan, next time you will think it is located in Central Asia, but there are some places that belong to Europe. So, Kazakhstan also similar to Russia, it has provinces here as well as there. That is both in Asia and in Europe. And what are they telling us about this country? It is the largest landlocked country. So once again, what is a landlocked country? It means it is locked by land. It is surrounded by land on all four sides. There are no water bodies. So you see most of the countries that are inside, that is here. This is a huge landmass. Central Asia it is located in. So it is difficult. It is not surrounded by water immediately. It is, of course, there is water around, but immediately next to the border there is no water. It is landlocked. And this is the largest landlocked country, not only here but in the whole world. And then the Volga River. So you must have heard about the Volga River in Russia is Europe's longest river. So in Russia you have the Volga River, which is the longest river in Europe. So once again, what have we learned? Some facts. The smallest town in the world, which is Hum in Croatia, has just 30 inhabitants. Then Europe is the continent with the highest population density. See, the smallest continent would be Australia, but the population there is very low. So that makes Europe the continent with the highest population density. Then Kazakhstan. So this country, though it looks like it is located completely here in Asia, it has parts in Europe as well. So this is the largest landlocked country in the whole world. The Volga River in Russia is the longest river in Europe. Moving on to the languages. So what kind of languages do the people here speak? So there are many languages here, and these languages are widely spoken too. See, most European languages belong to either the Romance languages. So we have a category of languages called the Romance languages, which include French, Italian and Spanish. So the European languages belong to one of these categories. So we have the Romance languages, which are French, Italian and Spanish. And then the Germanic languages among them. So among those Germanic languages we have German and English. Or the Slavic languages, which are Russian, Bulgarian and Polish. So these are some of the languages spoken here. There are a wide variety of languages again. Each country has its own different language. So you must have noticed that when looking at the names themselves. So we have France, the language is French, Germany, German, you have Portugal, then you have Spain. So just like that, many languages are spoken here. So once again, about the languages, most of the European languages belong to one of these three categories. So we have the Romance languages, which are French, Italian and Spanish. Then we have Germanic languages, which are many, but they include German and English. Or the Slavic languages, which are Russian, Bulgarian and Polish. So these are some of the languages spoken here. Moving on to the next topic, the religion. So what religion do the people in Europe follow? Most of the Europeans are Christians. So Christianity is the major religion here. See, 76% of the people are Christians. And then there are smaller number of Muslims, that is 6%. So the second most dominant religion here would be Islam and Jews, and there are other beliefs as well. So there's a variety in religions here as well. The dominant one is Christianity, that is 76% of the people are Christians. Then a 6% of them are Muslims, they follow Islam, and then there are Jews and other beliefs as well. However, about 18% of all the Europeans consider themselves as atheist or non-religious. So these people do not believe in God. So they are atheists, that's the term, or non-religious. So what are the religions the people here follow? The majority of the people are Christians, 76%. Some people are Muslims, 6%. And then you have Jews and other beliefs as well. However, around 18% of the people claim to be atheists. So they are non-religious. They do not believe in God. So I hope you understood about the languages and the different religions followed in this continent. Now to learn about some of the animals found in this continent. See, in Europe there are 270 species of mammals such as the boar, bat, deer, hare, otter, etc. So there are 270 species of mammals found on this continent, though the population density is so high. So some of them are the boar, bat, deer, hare, otter. But of all the mammal species, 15% are endangered. So that is something that's very sad. 15% of these are endangered species. So what do you mean by endangered? Endangered means they are in the danger of going extinct. So they are in that zone where they might go extinct if we don't preserve them. So among these endangered species are the wolf, bear and the lynx. So this is something about the animal species found here. There are around 270 species of mammals. Some of them include the boar, bat, deer, hare, otter. Of all the species found here, around 15% of them are endangered. So they need protection. So some of these endangered species are wolf, bear and lynx. So now, moving on to the landmarks. So the European continent is well known for its tourist attractions. So most of the people plan holidays to Europe. This is because the country has so many tourist attractions, so many places you must visit. Such a beautiful continent. So what are some of the landmarks here? See, 5 out of the top 10 tourist destinations in the world are in Europe. So can you believe 5 out of 10? That is a 50% chance. So half of the tourist destinations are here. And France is the #1 tourist destination in the world. I'm sure many of you will have a dream to go to France. It is the #1 tourist destination in the world. The most visited tourist sites in this continent include the Tower of London in the UK, the Tower of London, then the well-known Eiffel Tower in France. So I'm sure all of you will know the Eiffel Tower in France. And then we have Neuschwanstein. So it's quite difficult to pronounce. It is a German name. So the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, the Alhambra in Spain, Kremlin in Russia, Acropolis in Greece, Foro Romano in Italy. So like I told you, these are just a few. See, 5 out of the top 10 tourist destinations are in Europe. So imagine how many tourist attractions are here. And France is the #1 tourist destination. As we all know, France is the #1 tourist destination in the world. Most of the people plan holidays here. So when you say holiday, most people will probably think about a European country because this country has so many tourist attractions. So what are they? Once again, we have the Tower of London in UK, the Eiffel Tower in France, the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, Alhambra in Spain, Kremlin in Russia, Acropolis in Greece, and Foro Romano in Italy. So there are many more such places that you can visit.
Pebbles CBSE Board Syllabus.